A protest in support of Palestine created some major problems today for travelers at SeaTac Airport. This was a scene on the airport express lane where you can see those protesters locking arms to block vehicles heading to the airport. Thank you for being with us at 10 o'clock. I'm Jessica Janner Castro.
I'm Steve Solis. That road is back open tonight, and this is just one of many protests happening across the nation today. Protesters blocked lanes of I-5 in Eugene. At one point, the Golden Gate Bridge was blocked in San Francisco. 40 people were arrested in Chicago for blocking the main highway towards the O'Hare Airport. And traffic along the Brooklyn Bridge was also blocked by protesters.
King 5 has team coverage on today's protest at SeaTac Airport. Coming up in a few minutes, Maddie White will tell us about the affected travel from this demonstration. But we begin with Cornelius Hawker, who has been tracking the story all day for us. Cornelius.
Protesters chose today to block this road leading to SeaTac because it's tax day, a symbolic way for them to show their frustration with the U.S. sending money to Israel.
For a little more than 3 hours, protesters demanding the U.S. stop sending money and weapons to Israel blocked the entrance into SeaTac. They laid on the ground, bound together in white suits covered in red paint, trying to get their message across.
Stop the bombs.
Dana Sherholz came to document this protest, which backed up traffic and disrupted travel plans for countless people.
I know it makes so many people really mad, and I talked to a couple people who were mad, and I also talked to a couple people that got out of their cars and were saying, we support the cause.
Port of Seattle police arrested 46 people. A police spokesman said the protesters will likely face some sort of disorderly conduct charge. Even after arrests were made,
I'm just here to pick up my wife and my niece.
Delays continued.
They can't even get out here, and there's no way to get into the airport.
As we interviewed this man named Casey, there to pick up loved ones, another man named Mohammed, a rideshare driver, interrupted.
We can't just say, oh no.
Their conversation is one many Americans are having.
So how does this solve?
It doesn't solve nothing. It doesn't solve nothing.
So they can get off the road and let people.
The thing is to disrupt.
The two men went back and forth for around 5 minutes, debating the impact of this protest and the reasons behind it. In the end, they agreed to disagree.
Thank you, sir. You know, it was great having a conversation with you.
Your right to protest.
Everybody has a way to do things, and if it's
disrupt, you have to respect us being disgruntled over it.
I respect that.
Police had a hard time moving the protesters because they were tied together, meaning to move one of them, they had to move them all. Whenever that did happen, the tow trucks were able to get in there to tow those cars and to let the traffic back into the airport. Live in SeaTac, Cornelius Hawker, King 5 News.
Cornelius, thank you. King 5's Maddie White has been tracking the headaches for travelers. Maddie joins us from SeaTac tonight. Maddie.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, the arrivals and departures curb behind me are finally back open now. This after the lanes leading up to them were shut down for hours due to these protesters. And not only did that mean that people going to departing flights missed some of their flights, but also that meant that arriving passengers weren't able to leave the airport by car. And that disproportionately impacted the disabled and elderly passengers.
It was a rush for the light rail. When arriving passengers realized they couldn't be picked up.
I've never seen that much crowded people ever in my life. Coming out of the airport, going to the train, it's usually a very few minute numbers of people that you could count on your fingertips.
Others resorted to walking.
All the way down here, walk all the way around, and you'll get out to 99, and then you can take a cab.
But that's not doable for everyone.
And my cousin has been sitting in the cell phone parking lot since 2 o'clock. She's coming to pick us up. And so I've got my aunt sitting in here, my 90-year-old aunt sitting in here in a wheelchair, surrounded by all our luggage.
It was a waiting game.
This is your little area right here?
Yes. Yeah.
For Sherry Siverson and her Aunt Joyce.
So you know when you get close.
So they were thrilled when the roads reopened.
I just feel like a queen, sweetheart.
A birthday queen, to be exact. She turned 90 yesterday.
Can you believe that? That is the biggest number I've ever seen.
So take it from Joyce. A little positivity pays off, and patience with your time.
And after 10 days of travel and lots of things going on, it's like, we really want to get home, but we're not that far away. We're in Tacoma, so we'll get there.
According to FlightAware, 137 flights were delayed in total here at SeaTac today, and 4 flights were canceled, though we're not sure how many, if any, were related to the travelers being delayed by this protest. Now, we reached out to the major carriers here at SeaTac. The only airline that got back to us was Southwest, and they said they are allowing customers to rebook their flights and they're being flexible with their plans due to this incident. Reporting live in SeaTac Tonight, I'm Maddie White, King 5 News.
Maddie, thank you. This marks the second major pro-Palestine protest in King County this year. Back in January, protesters blocked the northbound lanes of I-5 in Seattle for almost 5 hours. The Washington State Patrol has referred charges for 12 of those protesters. King County prosecutors will make the final decision on whether those charges will be filed.